Today we're checking out some Eddie Van Halen tones. Recently I was playing around with my Yamaha THR, the green one, which has this ridiculous brown sound. Sounds pretty much like the hot-rodded Van Halen tone. And I tried to dial in a similar tone on the Matribox 2 Pro, Sonicake Matribox 2 Pro. So here's the editor. And I think I will incorporate that in my preset packs. So if you would like to get my preset packs for any of the given high gain units on the market, please contact me on Facebook or Instagram. Links are in the description below. And of course, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I'm using my Harley Benton Fusion guitar, the HSS, which I don't use that often, but anyway. And here's the effects chain, as you can see. So first of all, I would like to show you the sound without the delay. Flanger. So out of the box, this amp, which is called Halen 51, but I think it's the PV5150, sounds pretty much like you would expect. So I am always looking about the more modern Eddie Van Halen tone, so maybe not the early ones with the more or less hot-rodded plexi tones. And I'm using a built-in IR and tube screamer to boost the amp. So if I disengage this, you have also an Eddie Van Halen rhythm tone, I think. Let's see how far we can get here just with the amp gain. So the amp has a ton of gain, but also a ton of bass frequencies. Just the raw amp without the EQ. As you can see, I dialed out the mids already, but it's still not the desired result. So first of all, I wanted to get more gain, but without more bass frequencies, so I tended to boost it. Use the screamer pedal here with a lot of tone. Yeah. But also it doesn't have enough higher mids for my taste. And if you crank these here, it works, but I wasn't quite satisfied with the tone. And although there's some nasty bit of high end around the maybe 6K, so I tended to use an EQ, and here you can dial back the 6K, and also these higher mids are around maybe 2K. So now I screwed the settings. So let me please go to the go back to the initial settings here. Yeah, so I use this Caliph EQ, which is maybe the Mesa 5-band graphic EQ from the Mark amps, because I have control about these bands which are important for me, the 2K and the 6K. You can get rid of the nastiness. I think I would dial it out, especially if I would play at loud volumes. Here at home it doesn't sound that nasty, so it sounds pretty nice, but to get the result, dial out some mids. Again, I was inspired by the tone of the, well, THR Yamaha. And I got similar result, I think. And then, of course, I had to play around with the phaser, the flanger, sorry. By the way, I'm using the rec delay at a setting of 321 milliseconds, which is maybe somewhere around where signature from halen tones are setting the delay. This unit feels really nice, very dynamic, especially if you leave the high end in the tone. You can really feel the pick attack, the finger attacking the strings. And just at stock settings, the flangers sound quite nice. There are not that terribly many effects here, but you have two flangers and this one. Did the job for me. Wouldn't set the rate too high. So yeah, really nice. And if you would like to get more of the traditional Van Halenish tones, I would recommend to play around with the well, this JCM 800 or 900. So I can show you this preset, which is also included in my preset pack. These presets are more designed for live usage, so I'm using a high cut. If you disable this, I like the 900 model here in this unit. It's a little bit more distinct than the 800. This is not the Eddie Van Halen attempt here, but of course we can try to apply this. It's similar settings which we used the other preset, so then maybe we can get closer. Sorry, I cannot cannot play any Van Halen songs except Jump, but not the biggest Van Halen fan. But yeah, it sounds pretty much like this more traditional hot-rodded 80s tone which people got from the Marshall amps. Maybe I should call this video Van Halen-ish 80s tones. And of course, you could also do, if you want to have an 80s hair metal tone, add some chorus. And what I always recommend with the Sonicake Matribox is to put the chorus in front of the amp, because I couldn't get good results here. You always get this nasty, well, flanger effect. As here it sounds a little bit more pleasant to my ears. The good thing with this unit is you can use more than one effect of the same category. For example, here maybe we can throw in another modulation effects block instead of the compressor, for example, and then we can use it as a flanger. So there you go. With the chorus together, and the rec, and the reverb. Maybe it's not the 300 milliseconds. Maybe let's try out some other amps here. Didn't do that before, but let's see how far we can go with the 50 plus. I like the 50 watt plexi in most of the modeling units that have this model. It has maybe a little bit too much mids. Other than that, and I think these amp models, the more traditional ones with less gain, they're also working nice in combination with the Super OD, because Super OD has slightly more gain than the Tube Screamer. overall, very nice unit. And of course, not to mention that it's very budget friendly. I would recommend this over the Valeton GP-200 because this has way more flexibility and processing power, although it shares the same amp and effects models. And I hope that in the future this unit will come also with a little bit better stereo effects, which are still the weak point of that unit in my opinion. But it comes with a touch screen. So check out my videos about that unit or other modeling units which I support on my channel. And yeah, have a nice summer. See you.